You're watching Blue Ridge Communications, Cable 11.
With a chance to move on into the field of 16, it's the play-in game tonight in District 3 basketball. Good evening, everybody. Welcome into Manheim Central, where tonight the Manheim Central Barons host the Wyomissing Spartans. With Ryan Landis, I'm Eric May, and Ryan, this is the chance now for both these teams. Manheim Central 16th seed against Wyomissing, the 17th seed, to get into the field of 16.
Yeah, we talked the last game about how Manheim Central not only wanted to get in, but have a chance to host a play-in game. They have it tonight.
This Wyomissing team, 17-7 in the regular season, won Division III of the Berks County League. They've got a big-time scorer in Joseph Cascione.
They do. He's the second leading scorer in Berks County. He's hit for 20 or more in 11 games this year. That's a pretty high total.
The Manheim Central Barons, they've won 3 in a row, finishing strong to earn this berth. And we look at this team, and obviously some of the big scorers stand out, but we mentioned him the other night, and a guy that they're going to need in this postseason, it's Colby Gatchell.
Yeah, Colby's their leading three-point shooter. And as we saw in the Garden Spot game, he had his season high. He's able to turn it on, and they're going to need that tonight.
So it is Wyomissing and Manheim Central with a chance to move on into the field of 16. Starting lineups in the opening tip-off is coming up next on Cable 11.
Good evening, I'm Chad Landers. Here's what's coming up tonight at 10. After an 8-month investigation, police have charged a Lidditz man with stealing from his elderly sister, once again using the power of attorney. Plus, it's a rare disease and not many people even know it exists, but an effort to increase awareness by one local woman is getting international support on this day. All that's coming up, plus Carl Kern with weather and Brian Cass with sports. Join us tonight at 10.
Fresh homemade salads, soups, and desserts right from the kitchen. And that's just the start at Weaver Markets. Everywhere you look, there's something homemade, made locally, or just plain delicious. There's always something on sale, and you don't even need a club card to take advantage of all the great specials. For 50 years, we've called this community home, and that's just how we want you to think of us, as home. At Weaver Markets, you're always welcome as part of the family. Visit us in Adamstown and Reinholds, Monday through Saturday, or anytime online at weavermarkets.com.
Welcome back into Manheim. We are moments away from the opening tip-off of tonight's ball game between Wyomissing and Manheim Central. Visiting Spartans of Wyomissing. And, you know, we were talking to Coach Toph Miller a couple minutes ago, and he was in a very familiar situation that the Manheim Central program has had to deal with, and that's having football players on the basketball team and not getting them till a couple of weeks into the season. Of course, a magical season this year with Wyomissing winning a state title in football.
Yeah, and there were a lot of players on that football team, but you know, their schedule worked to their advantage a little bit. They had some easier games early on, so they were able to survive, as he had mentioned, and I think some of that winning atmosphere, that winning attitude's really carried over into this basketball season.
Well, and you look at the two teams, they have played two like opponents. Wyomissing played Daniel Boone twice, beat them twice. Manheim Central played Daniel Boone and lost. On the flip side, Manheim Central beat Octorara. Wyomissing lost to them.
You look at all these stats and it's a little confusing. Because every time you think one team has that advantage, I think Wyomissing has this edge because they are so senior-laden team. Their entire starting lineup seniors. They've had success in the past. This is not a new thing for them to be in district playoffs with many of these guys. On the other hand, I think Manheim Central's been tested a little bit more. Their conference or their section's a lot more difficult than Wyomissing's.
Wyomissing has won 10 of 12. Manheim Central 8 of 12. So both teams playing very well down the stretch. We'll step aside and be back with the opening tip-off right after this.
Making plans for your own funeral is something that most people don't think about. But planning your funeral ahead is one of the most compassionate things you can do for your family, to make your wishes known. Before the need arises, call Good Funeral Home. We'll explain the many choices available and put your mind at ease. Pre-planning your funeral with Good Funeral Home. It's the right thing to do. Call us or visit our website, Good Funeral Home. It's how you say goodbye.
Do students feel the ENB difference?
I feel it as soon as I walk through the door. It's just friendlier.
They know my name, and I know theirs.
I'm not just an account, I'm a person.
I feel like I'm off to a great start. I have my own debit card and I'm saving for college.
They care about my community because it's their community too.
I feel like they share my values.
I feel I can trust them, not like those giant banks.
ENB is part of where I live.
ENB, you'll feel the difference.
Well, there is nothing like playoff basketball, and the atmosphere is rich in that intensity. Here is the starting five for the respective teams. For Wyomissing, William Thornton also goes by Evan, Joe Cascione, Thomas Paolini, Gerald Burns, and Spencer Lloyd. For the Manheim Central Barons, the same five as we have seen throughout the season: Colby Gatchell, Zach Schnitzler, Evan Stauffer, Matt Walsh, and Jacoby Brumbach. It will be Walsh and Lloyd jumping in at center. And our District 3 play-in game is underway, and the Barons with the opening tip.
I would be surprised if, with either team winning this game, I would be surprised if Manheim Central beats Wyomissing due to Wyomissing making a lot of mistakes. So we said they're start all seniors. They're usually a pretty poised team. Well coached. Both these teams are really well coached.
Gerald Burns in the paint with the first bucket of the ball game.
That's what Wyomissing did really well against Daniel Boone in their quarterfinal Berks County playoff win, and they just won the battle of the transition game, so we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Matt Walsh comes back and fires up a three. Walsh second on the team in three-point baskets. He had 26 during the regular season. Burns down the lane, lost it on the way up, and the Barons get a turnover. Gatchell around Burns and gives it off to Walsh, and the Barons will go back on the perimeter. Stauffer's going to fire up a three, and he hits. Kind of reminiscent of what we saw against Garden Spot.
There's no doubt Manheim Central has several players that can hit the open three-pointer. It's nice to see early on that they're not only willing to shoot that, but they look pretty good.
Gatchell gives it off to Brungbach. Stauffer down the lane. No whistle. Shot off the mark. Back the other way come the Spartans. Burns gives it down low. Crope can't get it. Shot blocked by Walsh. Ball still loose, and nice hustle by Evan Stauffer to flip it back to Matt Walsh.
One advantage I think Manheim Central has early on is if you look at their two offenses, if you haven't played against Manheim Central, it takes a little getting used to all the cutting. You see the ball, the pass, the reversal, and the opposite guy cutting to the basket. After a few minutes, you get used to that, but never seeing them live before. I mean, they've watched them on tape, I'm sure. Sometimes can be difficult. Wyomissing runs a little bit more of a patterned offense that I think is a little easier to defend.
Barons on an 8-0 run after Burns got the opening bucket of the ball game. Lloyd to Crope. He'll get it back to Cascione. And you can see the Spartans having some difficulty trying to work the ball in the paint. Crope bumped by Gatchel, rebounded away by Brumbach.
You can also see that Zach Schnitzler's job is just to follow Joe around out there, not help as much as a typical Manheim Central team would help, because they recognize what a scorer he is.
Walsh, boy. Manheim Central just shooting lights out here in the first quarter. Burns around Gatchel off the back of the iron. And they're going to say stepping on the baseline, so the ball will stay with Wyomissing.
And here comes a timeout by Toph Miller.
And it will be a 30-second timeout with 4:22 to go in the first quarter. Of course, there is one other school in our viewing area playing tonight, and that is in Quad A. The Warwick Warriors are at home. They're hosting the Central Dauphin Rams. But a number of LL schools playing tonight, including Lancaster Mennonite and Northern Lebanon with a play-in game. Hempfield is hosting Dallastown, and Cocalico is playing at Lampeter Strasburg.
I still think it seems awkward, though. I mean, you have McCaskey Cedar Crest playing the LL Finals tonight.
Yep.
And half the league is playing in a district play-in game.
Well, what a game that was the other night between Donegal and McCaskey.
I think for a lot of people, they felt that was the LL Finals, and it sure lived up to that. Both those teams apparently came out shooting kind of like we're seeing Manheim Central early here.
Cascione loses that one off the side of his foot. And that was a packed house at CV. I heard that they had to actually turn people away because there just was no more room in the gymnasium. Walsh kicks it in the corner. Brumbach going baseline, and well defended by Wyomissing as he got sandwiched. Lloyd and Crope with the defensive job. Here's Cascione. Thornton with the three. Boy, and he had some air underneath that one too.
See Wyomissing mixing it up a little bit, running and doubling. It does leave shooters open.
That one spins out from Gatchel. Second violation against Wyomissing. I tell you, that's going to be a fun matchup to watch tonight. Obviously, Gatchel very quick. Burns very quick as well.
Right, as Coach Miller called out the offense, in this case 4, you saw Coach Sherwood stand up and pretty much tell everyone exactly what they were going to do. So you know they've watched plenty of them on tape.
Evan Stauffer to the rack, can't get it to go. Back the other way comes the Spartans. Here's Cascione for 3 and nothing but net.
It's where you really have to watch him is on those transition plays. In the half-court game, I think Zach's a good matchup and is able to stop him. But it's tough to sometimes identify and match up. That's why I don't mind fouls like this if I'm Manheim Central. You miss the shot, but at least you can come get your bearings before they fly down the court and find Joe.
Foul was on Tony Stafiri, who checked in for Gatchel. And now we've got a substitution for Wyomissing. Chase Hartman as we look at the last foul. Actually the first foul of the ball game as well. We have 2:24 to go.
Yeah, when you get the district playoffs, what they do is they pull an officiating crew from one of the conferences not involved in this game. So tonight you have Berks County versus an LL team. So you're either going to have a York or Mid-Penn, and this is a York County crew. And each conference is known for their style of officiating. I won't say a lot about each conference's officiating, other than I believe I told an athletic director at one point I do not want to travel to any Berks County gym during the regular season. Let you figure out what you think, what I think of Berks County officiating. Very fortunate in the LL, let's just say that.
I think it was spoken loud and clear.
But that was years ago, so they're probably great now.
10-8 ball game. Lloyd kicks it out top of the key. Hartman with a three, won't go. Rebound pulled down by the Barons. So Manheim Central had jumped out to a 10-2 lead, and then back-to-back threes for the Spartans has pulled them to within two. Brumbach gets around his defender and rolls off in front of the iron. Hartman pushes the floor. Cascione for three, and that rims out. Hartman, though, with a rebound. Dips inside and lays it in.
Once again, it's that transition. This is what we talked about, them beating Daniel Boone. And another look there. Cascione got that open three, that open look. It didn't fall for him, but it was in that transition again. They're going to have to figure out how to slow them down. They run a really nice break.
Well, Hartman crashing the boards, and then a nice dip here to get around Walsh and lay it in to tie the ball game at 10 with 1:25 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, Manheim just didn't box out there.
And look at the respective head coaches.
Two very different personalities in these coaches. Coach Sherwood, more like a shark, as we see on our picture. Coach Miller, for Wyomissing, tends to be a little bit more laid back.
Well, we'll see if that holds true even later in the game. And an alley-oop from Stauffer to Walsh. Walsh with 7 points here in the first quarter. Lloyd tries to kick it across to Croton. Go out front, Burns, and the bounce off the back of the iron hits the cable.
Usually when you see this coming out of a timeout in a playoff game, it means that Manheim, in addition to that being a play that they run, they saw something on tape that they recognize that they're going to have that opportunity coming out of a timeout. Whether it's the back line coming up too far, and they took advantage of it. Manheim Central's really spread out here. Looking for probably a layup or the last shot.
Clock winding down to the final half minute in the first quarter. Stauffer looking to get around Hartman and then spins it back out. And yeah, you can tell now Manheim Central is going to set up for the final one.
This is where I wish they would have a rule where the officials would have to count out loud the 5-second call, because the player can't really look back to see if he's counting or not.
Walsh will put up a three, too hard, rebounded around, picked up by Lloyd. Seconds ticking off, fires it up, and it comes up short. And the first quarter has come to an end. So a seesaw battle here in the first in Manheim. At the end of one, it's Manheim Central 12, Wyomissing 10. Back with the second quarter after we step aside on Cable 11.
Good evening, I'm Chad Landers. Here's what's coming up tonight at 10. After an 8-month investigation, police have charged a Lidditz man with stealing from his elderly sister, once again using the power of attorney. Plus, it's a rare disease and not many people even know it exists, but an effort to increase awareness by one local woman is getting international support on this day. All that's coming up, plus Carl Kern with weather and Brian Cass with sports. Join us tonight at 10.
12-10 Barons after one. Each team with A pair of 3-point buckets. Stauffer and Walsh for the Barons. Thornton and Cascione for the Spartans. And it's Wyomissing with the ball first. And they'll go with the same 5 that ended the quarter. Hartman, Cascione, Burns, Lloyd, and Crope. Lloyd trying to spin. Kicks it out. Here's Burns, baseline move. And boy, Walsh, you could see how he didn't block the shot, but he altered the shot by Burns. And a foul on Burns. That'll be the first foul of the ball game against Wyomissing, as Colby Gatchell will check back in for the Barons, replacing Zach Schnitzler. So it's Brumbach, Stafiri, Gatchell, Walsh, and Stauffer now here early on in the second quarter.
That was a pretty good first quarter. Some minor mistakes here and there, but as we anticipated, this isn't going to be a game where you're in the 20s with turnovers and everyone fouling each other every time down the floor. It was a clean quarter.
Yeah, just 3 personal fouls. Stauffer is bumped, and they're going to get him for a travel.
Welcome to district play.
Yeah. Well, and just like you said, you're not sure what kind of game the officials are going to call. Are they going to let a lot of bumping going on and physical play, or are they going to call everything? Well, it's been pretty quiet here in the first half so far. And the Spartans now will work the perimeter. Hartman cutting in the lane, blocked off nicely. Crope, the short jumper, it's off the mark. Walsh rips down the rebound.
Yeah, I don't want to overstate it, but I think one of the real disadvantages that Wyomissing has is they run a lot of really nice stuff. But Coach Sherwood prepares for games and opponents as well as any coach I know in the league. And you can see Stauffer hits that tough three-pointer, but you can see everything they're calling out to run. Manheim Central knows exactly what they're doing. I mean, they almost know it before Wyomissing knows what they're doing.
Down low. Cascione in the corner, nothing but net again. Well, that is a guy you cannot give even the slightest bit of room to. Of course, as Ryan mentioned, second in Berks County in scoring. Here's Gatchell, and he answers with a 3 of his own. His first points of the ball game.
And you saw what Coach Sherwood did after that last 3 by Joe, is right away he went and got Zach. And I think, you know, you talk about knowing your roles. And Zach Schnitzler is such a great matchup for Manheim Central to put on Joe. And he did a great job on him in the first quarter. They gave him a little bit of a breather, but I don't think he's going to be able to sit out a lot in this game.
No, and the thing is, too, I think this is where you might see that the bench for Manheim Central might be a little bit deeper than what Wyomissing has. The 3 from Gatchell's off the mark, but Walsh gets the rebound out near the top of the key.
It's really tough to hit that dribble step back 3. Colby can do it. It's just it's much tougher shot than catching it and shooting.
And now they got Stauffer for a carry. So he's called for a travel and then a carry.
I think that was the right call. If you look here, it was close.
They don't call that in the NBA, though.
My argument wouldn't be that they called that. It would be that they don't call it all the time.
But Matt Walsh is really making his presence known as he goes up high to pick off that pass. He's picked up a blocked shot already. Right now, the Baron lead is 5, under 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half. And Manheim Central will use a 60-second timeout. So Chris Sherwood wants to use a full 60 to talk things over. So with 4:25 remaining in the first half, we've had a very busy first half, and I think the way we've seen threes going up here in the first half, we might be able to see a lot of threes. There's one from Stauffer. Cascione with his first. Gatchel a few steps beyond the three-point line. And I think really for Manheim Central, we saw Cascione drill that one from the corner. Well, then Gatchel comes back and answers with one of his own.
Yeah, you have to make shots at this stage, and you know we're seeing Manheim Central make them, but as you mentioned, we also saw Wyomissing. They didn't look like they were too concerned when they got down 10-2 because they know they can hit their shots and get right back into this. I really would be surprised, like most games we cover, if this doesn't stay a pretty close game.
Like I said, Wyomissing has won 10 of their last 12. Their only 2 losses, one just came last week in their Berks County playoffs. They lost to Reading 76-51, and then back on January 24th, they lost to Pottstown 49-43.
Yeah, they got caught in the middle of the Reading High buzzsaw where Reading High rattled off 20 straight points against them early in that game.
Gatchel's through off the front of the iron, but an offensive rebound for the Barons. Gatchel again, another 3, and this time he hits. He's not shy, is he?
No, and the one thing you really like about Colby is if he misses a shot, it doesn't seem to really affect him. The next time he's open, he's going to shoot it.
Well, that's that confidence that you know you can come back and hit another one. So he's got 2 of them now. Schnitzler's back in the ball game. Dan Wiederek also win, and that is Spencer Lloyd. He has his first points.
He's averaging over 12 a game. Nice touch for a big guy.
Stauffer getting around Hartman, and they're going to get a foul out front on Chase Hartman.
Yeah, they're really being physical with Evan.
That'll be his first second team foul against the Spartans.
Wyomissing in a zone. You can see this here.
Well, the thing is, we've seen enough of the Barons that that's not going to deter Stauffer from playing his game. And they're going to say a jump ball in the paint. Boy, Spencer Lloyd came down and really came up with a fine defensive play as Mark Kovacs will check into the game, replacing Bill Croak.
I don't like playing a zone against Manheim Central on inbounds because of that. They get a lot of open shots and second chances.
Well, another offensive rebound, and Hartman pulls this one down for the Spartans.
Stop the transition.
Burns shot blocked by Walsh. Second block of the ball game, and a big one because Burns had a clear look at the basket. Cascione trapped. Lloyd and give to Hartman cutting underneath.
Zach got to see Joe's spin move there, so you put that in the back of your mind and you remember that's something he likes to go to on the drive. Nice job by him of kicking it out.
Four-point Baron advantage, 2:20 remaining in the half. Gatchel for 3, and he got it again.
Yeah, Wyomissing saying if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to hit some threes. Well, Manheim Central seems to like that approach.
Here's Burns. He'll put one up and drain it.
Hey, look at Manheim Central. They have 6 threes and 3 twos. We haven't even shot a foul shot in this game.
Wyomissing wants a full timeout. So we'll catch our breath and step aside. 1:57 to go in the half. 24-20 Barons.
Making plans for your own funeral is something that most people don't think about. But planning your funeral ahead is one of the most compassionate things you can do for your family, to make your wishes known. Before the need arises, call Good Funeral Home. We'll explain the many choices available and put your mind at ease. Pre-planning your funeral with Good Funeral Home. It's the right thing to do. Call us or visit our website, Good Funeral Home. It's how you say goodbye.
Chris Sherwood addressing his Barron team, who lead by 4, as this first half has become a three-point shooting contest. 6 threes in the ball game for the Barons. Gatchel has 3 of them. Here is the last one.
Well, if I was scouting Manheim Central beside Gatchall's name, the first thing I would put is incredibly quick release. I mean, that shot is out of his hands in a split second. Both of these teams are doing a nice job making it difficult for the other team's leading scorer. And Cascione and Stauffer are both really having to work hard in this game.
Stauffer trying to get around Hartman and lost it.
It might be one of those games where Coach Sherwood has to talk to Evan and say, you might have to step back a little bit into a little bit of a secondary role because they're just hounding you right now.
Chase Hartman with a 3.
And Chase has been one of the stories in this game.
Yep.
You haven't talked about him, but on the defensive end, he is just all over the place. You see it right here. It's not letting Evan even breathe.
And he's picked up 7 points. He's done that coming off the bench.
The fact that he's a junior with all these seniors, you would have to think he'll be quite a key player for them next year.
And another offensive rebound for the Barons. Stauffer lost it, and he goes out of bounds, trying to draw the foul.
I think he's trying a little too hard. I think he was going a little too fast for his body there.
Well, you can see, look, he has Walsh over here in the corner. And Spencer Lloyd started going down the lane. And I think really Stauffer wanted to get the ball to Walsh, and by that time was out of control and lost it out of bounds. Down to the final 15 seconds. And the Spartans with a chance to take a lead for the first time since the opening points of the ball game. Burns, scoop shot. No, it will not count as it hit the cable above the basket. .9 on the clock for Central. Walsh gives it off to Stauffer, who fires and off the back of the rim to end the first half. So a fast-paced first half here in Manheim as the two teams head to the locker room. Our score at the break: Manheim Central 24, Wyomissing 23. Back with
My husband, Hank, never took life too seriously till our son was born. That day, he bought life insurance. There's no way I could send our boy to college without it. If there was one thing I could say to Hank, it'd be thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Hank.
Life insurance you can use while you're still living.
You are one lucky lady.
Learn more from Agent Mark Hof in Lidditz today.
My name is Michelle Benson, and I am a AAA member. And this is my son, Vincent. I've been a member of AAA pretty much my whole life, but now that I'm a mom, it's even more important. Having car trouble is a scary thought, but if you've ever been stuck in the car with a rambunctious 2-year-old, you know that every second counts. And that's why I choose AAA.
Keep those you love safe with a AAA membership.
One policy is better than 2. Insurance can be complicated. Simplify your life with one policy for your home and auto. Rely on the knowledge and experience of Westfield Insurance and a trusted advisor, your independent agent.
Arthur M. Yeager Insurance Agency, taking care of your insurance needs since 1930. Contact us today to see how the Yeager Agency and Westfield Insurance saves you money.
I knew I needed 4 new tires to pass inspection, and I just didn't want to get ripped off. There were 3 things that were really important to me: quality, my time, and of course, price. That's when my brother recommended Tire Consultants in Ephrata. Said he's been a customer there for a long time. He told me they've been doing just tires for over 30 years and that their quality services only take 20 minutes. So I took care of it over my lunch break.
Tire Consultants, providing quality service and great prices on tires for over 30 years.
Good evening, I'm Chad Landers. Here's what's coming up tonight at 10. After an 8-month investigation, police have charged a Lidditz man with stealing from his elderly sister, once again using the power of attorney. Plus, it's a rare disease and not many people even know it exists, but an effort to increase awareness by one local woman is getting international support on this day. All that's coming up, plus Carl Kern with weather and Brian Cass with sports. Join us tonight at 10.
Today, Ephrata and Lidditz Rec Centers.
Halftime here at Mannheim, 24-23 Barons. Barons won the opening quarter 12-10. Wyomissing outscoring the Barons by a point, 13-12, and that's why we have a 1-point ball game here at the intermission. And Ryan, you said, boy, all these threes and not one free throw in the first half.
No, what could concern me a little bit if I'm Mannheim Central is the fact that they shot the ball that well and they're only up by 1 point. I think maybe something they want to look at this half is to try to go inside it a little bit, whether it be a look into Walsh or a drive to the basket, and see if they can't get some points on the foul line.
Well, for Mannheim Central, the leading scorers are the only guys that are in the books. They're in the book. Colby Gatchell leading the way with 9 points for the Barons, followed by Evan Stauffer with 8, Matt Walsh with 7. And Walsh has been busy as he pulled out a lot of rebounds and has blocked 2 shots in the first half.
He has, and as you said there, they have six 3-pointers. They've only had 3 regular field goals and nothing at the foul line.
Evan Stauffer hit 2 of them. Here's one from Walsh. But then Wyomissing has some 3-point shooters as well. There's a nice lob from Stauffer to Walsh. Cascione with a pair of threes in the first half for Wyomissing, but we have seen a lot. There's one of the 2 blocks that Walsh picked up in the first half. And the key for Wyomissing, obviously Cascione's going to draw some attention, but Chase Hartman coming off the bench really gave them a big spark.
He did, offensively and defensively. And I thought you could see, as frustrated as Evan is right now, he should take some pride in the fact that you could see Wyomissing respects his game, and they've keyed in on him. As frustrating as that is to be that person that they're targeting, I think we'll watch in the second half if they don't apply some of that same mentality to Gatchall. Now he's hit 3 threes on him. Let's watch and see if they don't step a little bit further out and not give him anything this half.
Well, and the fact that there were only 4 personal fouls called in the first half of play, do both teams come out and play even more physical to see how the officials call it in the second half?
It's not a bad thought. I thought it was getting pretty physical there by the end of that half anyway, so it could be a case of which team not only makes shots, but can each team hold their poise in this game. because it's going to get intense. It already is reaching that level pretty quickly.
And you can't get any closer than a 1-point difference. Barron's up 1. We'll step aside. When we return, we'll get set for the second half of it's the Spartans. I thought guard spot. Wyomissing in Manheim Central. Jeez.
When you want brilliant color, gorgeous coverage, and an elegant finish that lasts, there's only one place to turn. Easy Care and Weatherall, made in the USA by True Value. It's not just paint, it's your personality. True Value. Start right, start here.
If you know the folks at Graham's Auto in Ephrata, you know they're a car family. When they're not fixing your car using the latest electronic diagnostic equipment, they're home restoring their own classic cars. And when they're not helping you with titles and tag transfers, they're out on cruise night talking about cars. And when they're not doing inspections, brakes, tires, transmissions, or anything else your car might need, they're thinking about cars. For excellent service, honest and fair, take your car to a car family. Graham's Auto. Stop by today.
Making plans for your own funeral is something that most people don't think about. But planning your funeral ahead is one of the most compassionate things you can do for your family, to make your wishes known. Before the need arises, call Good Funeral Home. We'll explain the many choices available and put your mind at ease. Pre-planning your funeral with Good Funeral Home. It's the right thing to do. Call us or visit our website, Good Funeral Home. It's how you say goodbye.
Fresh homemade salads, soups, and desserts right from the kitchen. And that's just the start at Weaver Markets. Everywhere you look, there's something homemade, made locally, or just plain delicious. There's always something on sale, and you don't even need a club card to take advantage of all the great specials. For 50 years, we've called this community home, and that's just how we want you to think of us, as home. At Weaver Markets, you're always welcome as part of the family. Visit us in Adamstown and Reinholds, Monday through Saturday, or anytime online at weavermarkets.com.
I knew I needed 4 new tires to pass inspection, and I just didn't want to get ripped off. There were 3 things that were really important to me: quality, my time, and of course, price. That's when my brother recommended Tire Consultants in Ephrata. Said he's been a customer there for a long time. He told me they've been doing just tires for over 30 years, and that their quality services only take 20 minutes. So I took care of it over my lunch break.
Tire Consultants, providing quality service and great prices on tires for over 30 years.
We get set for the second half of play. Manheim Central with a 1-point lead, 24-23, in which it's going to be the final home game here at Manheim Central. Now, you hate to look ahead, but boy, whoever wins tonight gets the task of playing at Susquehanna Township, the #1 seed in AAA, next week. 5 teams from the LL playing in AAA. One of them is going to get guaranteed eliminated because Mennonite and Northern Lebanon are playing. And whoever wins that one gets to face Donegal. Spartans with the ball to open up the second half. Lob to Trope, saved it.
I think he was close to that line.
Yes.
It's a very similar play that Manheim Central ran out of a timeout in the first half.
They're back to their starting 5. Thornton, Burns, Lloyd, Crope, and Cascione. Lloyd in the paint, and there's going to be a foul out front. Foul will go on Matt Walsh, his first.
We talked about the end of that first half, it was getting really physical, and sometimes officials, when they see that there haven't been many fouls called, they sometimes try to settle them down early in this half. So we'll see if they don't call it pretty close the first couple minutes.
Obviously that could dictate how the second half plays out. Walsh with a spin, gives it off to Brumbach, and boy, what a heads-up play by Walsh to see Brumbach sitting over there, back the other way, and it's Thornton.
And that's what we had said at halftime. Manheim Central maybe look inside. They got a great entry pass by Walsh, who got a nice assist. There you see the Wyomissing transition game.
Gatchel gets Cascione off his feet. Shot too hard off the glass, and Wyomissing comes up with a rebound. Fired from the corner. That one's too strong by Thornton. Stafford gets a pick from Walsh, and they're going to get a blocking foul called on Gerald Burns. Second personal as we look at it again.
That was a good call. He didn't quite get there.
Kind of threw the hip in there.
I mean, it would have been offensive because Evan did lower the shoulder and draw contact, but he beat the defender to the spot, so he's rewarded with 2 foul shots.
And the first of the ball game. Evan Stauffer 63% on the season. Will get 1 out of 2.
This is something we didn't see in the first half. And that is some full court press and trapping by Manheim. I don't think that's going to be the key to them being successful in this particular game. I think there was a reason Coach Sherwood chose not to show a lot of that against this Wyomissing team.
And Thornton with back-to-back buckets for the Spartans to tie it at 27. Stauffer for 3, and he's got it.
Now let's keep an eye on how long Wyomissing keeps Chase out of the game. Chase Hartman, and doesn't get him back in so that he can be all over Evans.
Now the Barons force a turnover. Stafiri going baseline up with the left hand. It rolls off. Burns the rebound. Cascione trying to get around Schnitzler and denied. Thornton. And the Spartans kick it out. Burns too much. And the rebound pulled down by Stauffer.
It's not a bad shot by Burns to keep Walsh on, and is to make him come out and contest, because he was just sitting in that lane, not allowing anyone from Wyomissing to go inside because they knew they were going to get blocked by him.
See, right there we can see how the difference is, because Hartman would be a guy that would be underneath crashing the boards there for Wyomissing. They had nobody there but Crope, and he was basically blocked out by 2 Baron defenders. Baron lead is 3.
I'd like to see him get another post look or 2 to Walsh with the matchups that's there.
Stauffer, a strong drive, and he has picked up 6 points in the third quarter. 14 now in the ball game for Stauffer. And a souvenir. Nice hands.
Just concerned that because I touched that ball, I don't want it to affect Stauffer shooting, because he's starting to get into a rhythm here.
Well, it didn't affect Walsh as he drains a 3.
That's 14 points in this game for Stauffer, despite them being all over him. And then you look at, Walsh is now double figures.
And the Barons now trying to push the pedal to the metal. Colby Gatchell will set to check in, but Toph Miller will use a 60-second timeout. With 3:48 to go in the third quarter, Manheim Central extending their lead. They are up 8.
ESPN, your NBA destination.
Oh, what a move! Beautiful play.
Wednesdays and Fridays, all season long.
That's smooth.
The can't-miss plays.
Nice play.
The brightest stars.
A three. Throws it down.
The marquee matchups.
The Miami Heat NBA champions.
The NBA, Wednesdays and Fridays on ESPN and ESPN HD.
Well, after the Spartans tied it at 27, Manheim Central has gone on an 8-0 run, capped off by that last three-point bucket by Matt Walsh, his second of the ball game, and that puts him in double figures now with 10 points. Behind Evan Stauffer's 14 for the Barons. Stauffer around Burns, dishes it off to Brumbach, and Jacoby Brumbach will go to the free throw line. That was a pretty pass from Stauffer because he drew two Spartan defenders. And then Brumbach got pushed by Burns, and that's the third on Burns, so Chase Hartman is back in the ball game.
Yeah, to Evans' credit, he's settled down here. You know, Wyomissing, I thought was getting in his head a little bit because of how they were just kind of hawking him all over the court. For lack of a better word, fouling him as well. And he seems like he's been calmed down here and he's doing his thing now.
Brumbach with both free throws makes the lead 10. And this is the biggest lead that Manheim Central has enjoyed. 3.5 minutes remaining, third quarter. I think this situation now where you're going to see Manheim Central spread things out, be patient, but if given an opportunity to run, if they can get a transition point, they're going to go.
Yeah, Manheim Central is really, really sharp right now.
Walsh. And he's going to get a push from Crope. That'll be the first foul on Crope. Third team foul against Wyomissing. The lob to Stauffer rolls off the front of the rim. Walsh tips it. Stafiri with a nice save. Stauffer in the paint. Lays it in. And the Baron lead is 12. Thornton from the corner, too far. Stauffer the rebound, and well, he thought about a long pass down court and decided against it.
Yeah, one advantage to Manheim Central doing what they've done in this game is they've waited till the second half to show any of this full court pressure. And when you show it in the first half, you're able to talk about it as a team at halftime. Well, I'm sure Wyomissing didn't talk too much about that. I mean, they talked about Gatchall's threes and how they got to keep doing this. And well, now they come in the second half and face a completely different look from Manheim Central. And it seems to have kind of gotten them out of a flow.
Cascione has the ball knocked away by Stauffer and into the hands of Colby Gatchell. So the Baron defense has really set the tone in the third quarter.
A look inside, he's got him posted. So it's not a bad look. I mean, he had him.
Well, a nice lead pass from Hartman to Cascione, and then Kobe Gatchel, not giving up on the play, slaps it out of bounds. Evan Stauffer is going to come out and get a breather.
Watch this inbounds. Good help by Walsh. Just scrambling a little bit.
Hartman with a 3. He has 10 points. And that stops a 14-0 run by the Barons. 110, and now the trapping defense for Wyomissing. And so what will Central do? They'll back it out.
Yeah, this works to Mannheim's advantage here. It's letting Stauffer get his rest. Probably see him early in the fourth, probably even to start the fourth quarter. You often, as a coach, you like to combine the end of a quarter with the timeout or the break between it. It gives you like an extended break.
Walsh to back it out, give it off to Brumbach. Final 30 seconds.
Yeah, they were close to a 5-second there.
Barons up 11. Looking for a final shot. Gatchel looking to work on Cascione. Here's Brumbach spinning off the near side of the rim. Kovac the rebound. Bounces it up to Lloyd.
He's going to get a look.
Lloyd floats it up, and it is no good, and that ends the third quarter. And it is the Mannheim Central defense that is the difference in the third quarter. They create the turnovers, turn them into points, and at the end of 3, 41-30 Mannheim Central.
Does State Farm let me bundle auto, home, and life to save money?
Sure. We practically invented bundling, and it all stays with State Farm.
So my policies don't go to some bundling center that ships them off to some bundle factory? I'm dealing with you, and not some bungling, bustling bundle builders.
Who have you been working with?
Stay with the company you trust.
Bundle and save with Agent Mark Hof in Lidditz today.
We head to the final 8 minutes of play. Barons with a 41-30 lead. And I'm looking over the notes and the numbers here, and especially Cascione. I mean, he came in averaging 18 points per game. Only one time this season was he held to single digits, and that was in the first game of the year against Schuylkill Haven when he was held to 7 points. So credit the Baron defense. And nice look reverse from Walsh, and he's looking to do it again. Goes in on the right side and opens up the fourth quarter. It's similar to a basket earlier.
Yeah, they've gotten about, let's say, 4 good entry passes in there, and that's what we talked about at halftime. Everything was predicated on that three-point shot. You can't assume you're going to shoot both halves of the game like that. So I think they've done a nice job looking inside.
Chase Hartman cleans up the mess. Lays it in.
Having.
Yeah, 12 points for the junior. Walsh a long 3. Wow.
Wow, that was deep.
You better believe it. 17 for Walsh. And we're going to get a foul out front. Burns trying to drive to the basket.
You saw there on that last possession up the court by Wyomissing, even though it is a full court defense, it's a much more conservative defense than we've seen sometimes. So they're not running all over the place. They're kind of moving back with them. on defense, kind of closing away the middle lane.
Look at that.
Right after he schooled his man inside on a post move. Yeah, that's got to be fun to guard.
Boy, to have a player that can shoot like that from the outside and be a force underneath, something the Barons will enjoy next season. There's the foul out front. Kobe Gatchell picks up his first. Each team now with 3 personal fouls.
Yeah, that was a big 3 by Matt, because even though they're up 14 now, it still feels like Wyomissing could put a run into this game. They have that ability. You know, you mentioned Cascione only having 6 in this game. You get that feeling he might just go on a little spurt here and hit a few threes or some baskets.
Well, he fires up a 3 there, rimmed out. Hartman the rebound. That won't go. Still fighting. And they're going to say last touch by Manheim Central along the baseline.
I got to think Coach Sherwood would like to have this Hartman kid on his team. He just reminds me of a Coach Sherwood type of player.
Well, the way we saw Wyomissing hit 3s in the first half, yeah, I have to agree with you that this is a team I think can score points.
That was a pretty
in a hurry.
Yeah, that was a pretty clean look. I'm surprised he missed that one. That might have been the most open he's been all night.
Walsh working around Burns. Stauffer, baseline. Evan Stauffer with 18 points. Burns off balance, tipped and rebounded by Walsh. Barron lead is 16.
I don't think Manheim wants their season to end tonight.
Yeah, this might be the best game we have seen them play this year. I mean, really, you know, from everybody out on the floor and the guys coming off the bench. Foul will go on Hartman. That'll be his second.
Yeah, I thought they played a pretty good first half, but this second half has been almost flawless.
And Toph Miller will use a 60-second timeout to regroup the Spartans. 5:22 left in regulation. It's the Barons by 16.
I knew I needed 4 new tires to pass inspection, and I just didn't want to get ripped off. There were 3 things that were really important to me: quality, my time, and of course, price. That's when my brother recommended Tire Consultants in Ephrata. Said he's been a customer there for a long time. He told me they've been doing just tires for over 30 years and that their quality services only take 20 minutes. So I took care of it over my lunch break.
Tire Consultants, providing quality service and great prices on tires for over 30 years.
Back in Manheim, Eric May and Ryan Landis, 5:22 left. Right now, Manheim Central with a 16-point lead and looking to make it to the field of 16, which opens up next week.
They're in that stage right now, Manheim Central, where you got to find that balance of not playing to not lose, you know, and not becoming so passive and scared that you don't take advantage of some opportunities. But at the same time, you do want to start to understand the bigger picture here. You're up 16 with 5 and change left.
Lob in the paint to Walsh. Spin and lays it in. Boy, he has had quite a ball game tonight. 6'4" sophomore. Cascione swings it across. Boy, good looking shot by Spencer Lloyd. Second bucket of the ball game for Lloyd. Hartman picks off the pass. 2-on-1, and Schnitzler's going to be whistled in for a foul. But you know what? That's not a bad foul because the Spartans had a 2-on-1.
Yeah, he was going to go behind his back here, most likely to drop that pass off. And whether it's clean or not, it's really not that relevant. Say we're going to get the ball underneath.
But the thing is, now it takes time off the clock. Burns stops and fires and hits.
Watch this Mannheim Central team, and they got these 3 scores. And Coach Sherwood got the timeout.
He will get a 30-second timeout.
Coach Miller didn't feel there was control. But anyway, Mannheim Central, they have Stauffer, Walsh, Gatchall, these 3 guys shooting and scoring. And then he can say, yeah, and by the way, I have this guy, Zach Schnitzler. He's only going to average score 2 or 3 points, but he's going to be a better defender than most of the guys you've seen all year, so have fun with that. And my big guy, he can dribble the ball and handle it as well as most of your guards out there. So, I mean, Wyomissing has to be frustrated with some of the things that Mannheim Central's been able to do in this game.
Well, that's when you look at this Mannheim Central team, yeah, okay, so Schnitzler's averaging 2 points a ball game, but that doesn't say the impact he has on this team because everybody seems to know their role. And they're fulfilling it to their best of their ability here tonight.
I just love the way the game's been played and the way the game's been coached, because they hit those shots early in the first half, and instead of just falling in love with the threes and that being the only thing they did, the second half, they actually did the opposite. They said, all right, we've made these threes. The law of the averages and the balances, we're not going to be able to make them all game long. We're going to go inside this half. In the first half, they played half-court defense. Second half, they came out and threw full-court defense, and it's really kind of changed the flow of things.
Cascione picked up the foul. Stauffer missing on the 3. Cascione's 3. That rimmed out. Brumbach the rebound, and there was not a blue jersey around the rim. So the Barons hold them to one and done. Wow. Matt Walsh throwing a hip check into Chase Hartman.
Well, if you're going to get a foul called on you, I guess that's the way to do it.
Get the most out of it. Thornton is going to check back in. Hartman will sit down. 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in regulation. Barron lead is 14. Lloyd, he's going to be fouled underneath by Evan Stauffer.
As you mentioned, Cascione with his season low right now. Nice thing for Central, too, is they have to play Northern Lebanon twice. They have to play Sam Light, the leading scorer in the league, 2 times, so they're used to some of this stuff. They've prepared for teams that have shooters.
Spencer Lloyd hits a 3 and a timeout. As we look at that 3 again from Lloyd, who now has 7 points in the ball game.
Still a lot of time in this game. I mean, it's 11 points with over 3 minutes. You know, if you have an empty possession or 2 or a turnover and Wyomissing scores a basket or 2, all of a sudden you're in a 6-7 point game, and at that point.
Right, and just look 24 hours ago in the girls' league playoffs, Lampeter Strasburg scores 10 points in what, a minute and 1 or a minute and 10 seconds? And they knock off a Mannheim Township team that I think a lot of people were kind of penciling in for the league final tomorrow.
Right, and at some point very, very soon, the next foul after this, Mannheim's going to have to hit some front ends here of foul shots. And if you don't do that, that's how a team gets back in a game pretty quickly. You have enough time if you're Wyomissing to be selective in who you foul here.
Stauffer guarded by Burns.
I'm assuming they're going to wait until it's out of Stauffer's hands. Well, they didn't want to foul there. I'm surprised they called that. I think, again, that was the official guessing that Wyomissing wanted the foul, because Coach Miller's over there yelling, you can go with it, meaning the foul, but he didn't necessarily mean that particular player. So it worked out.
Stauffer misses the front end of the 1-and-1.
Watch
Back
out.
the other way, Lloyd for three. Back of the iron. Schnitzler, and again, tips the ball to a teammate until the Barons get the ball back. Stafiri, strong drive, and Matt Walsh cleans it up.
You don't want to foul if you're Mannheim, but it's been quite a game for Matt Walsh as well. I mean, Mannheim's played well as a team. I mean, they don't want to oversee it and say, yeah, Matt Walsh and Evan Stauffer, because they're both looking like they could have a teammates pulling a 20-point game. Because as we mentioned, the role players and the defensive stopper and Schnitzler have had an awfully good game as well.
First free throws for Wyomissing, and they come with 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in the ball game.
Watch a quick foul.
Burns got them both. Thornton will pick up the foul. That's just his first.
They're going to try to extend this game. This could be a long 2 minutes. I mean, their season's on the line.
So Stafiri at the line, 53% on the season. And he banks it in. Did you hear him call it?
It's just been one of those games. I don't remember coaching my teams ever making them, but I sure remember a lot of opponents doing that.
Well, Stafiri gets both free throws. The lead is 13. Burns for three, nothing but net.
We're down to a 10-point game.
And now the pressure is on in the backcourt. And we'll walk to the other end. And the Barons back to the free throw line. Hartman back in the ball game for Wyomissing, replacing Thornton.
This will be the last one-on-one. After this, it's all 2 shots.
Cascione with his third personal foul. Too hard off the back of the iron. Hartman leads the break. Burns for three, and he's got it again.
It's down to 7. That's why not only when you miss the foul shot, you miss points, but you also allow the transition.
Stauffer working around Burns, gives it off to Walsh, and a foul in the paint.
Pretty good quarter for Gerald Burns.
10 points in the quarter, 15 in the ball game now for Burns. Matt Walsh hits the first free throw.
This is probably like a lot of Wyomissing games, with the exception that their main scorer just isn't scoring. He's over 12 points off his average right now. And they're down by 9.
Long three ball from Burns, no good. Offensive rebound, here's Cascione's three, that's too strong. Colby Gatchell with the rebound, and going to be Manheim Central's ball. They said that Burns stepped on the baseline. Oh, he knocked it out. And Schnitzler's fouled in the backcourt by Hartman. Third foul on Hartman with 1:12 remaining.
Yeah, Wyomissing's been going at him here, but Manheim hasn't had those bad turnovers that you see teams that let games like this slip away.
Schnitzler at the free throw line gets the first. So the Barons are taking advantage of the free throws. Although Schnitzler misses the second. 10-point lead. Hartman, he will be fouled out front by Gatchel. That'll be the second.
Put them on the foul line. You miss that second one against Wyomissing, it turns into an automatic offensive attempt. They run the break extremely well.
Right now, the difference in the ball game was the Manheim Central defense in that third quarter. And they went on a 14-0 run. Game was tied at 27. They opened up to a 41-27 lead as Hartman misses the second.
It's been that. It's been the second half in particular that Matt Walsh has had. But as I said it earlier at halftime, both teams really went after the other team's score.
Yes.
And I'll just focus on the positive. Evan stepped up to that challenge. Sometimes you see kids step back, kind of fold a little bit. And I think one of the differences has been Manheim Central's star shined a little brighter in this second half. And then you throw in the performance by Walsh, the defensive effort by Zach, and the rest of the guys for Manheim.
Grumbach missing on both free throws. So the lead is 9. Burns pulls back and fires. Won't go, and Matt Walsh comes flying down the lead to pull down the rebound. Well, Walsh hit the floor, and he was not happy. Let's see who got
I thought this was it was a hard foul, but they're trying to go for the ball here. Let's see, they're going for the ball. That's going to be a technical on Manheim Central, I believe.
Yeah, I think Walsh threw the elbow.
I don't think there's that much. I don't think it's that much contact. Honestly, I don't really see enough for a technical either.
No. I agree. Technical will go on Walsh.
Yeah.
But the thing is, Walsh was fouled first.
Yeah, so what they'll do is they'll shoot his foul shots first, but the technical was on Walsh. So after he shoots these two foul shots, they'll come back down the court. Wyomissing will get 2 foul shots and the ball. And I know the home crowd doesn't agree with this, but I think it was the correct call if you were going to call a technical. I didn't think there was anything Wyomissing player did to get a technical or a flagrant foul.
Right, but at the same time, the fact that they weren't calling much in the first half and a lot of elbows and stuff were being thrown, to call one in that situation?
Yeah, I wouldn't have called either of them. I didn't think it warranted a technical, and I guess what I'm saying is I don't think the foul by Wyomissing was quite as bad as this crowd thinks it was.
Kovac misses both free throws, and he was a good free throw shooter on the season, 77%. Wyomissing will get the ball, though. trailing by 11 with 52 seconds remaining.
It might be a top foul shooter, but I don't think he's taken a shot tonight. That was interesting. Oh well.
Lloyd trying to go outside, and the pass picked off by Brumbach. And now the Barons have the ball and can milk the clock. And there will be a foul on Kovac, and it'll be his first, and we'll walk to the other end, and Manheim Central will get a chance to pad their lead. 33 seconds remaining. And Jacoby Brumbach to shoot 2. He is 2 of 4 at the line tonight.
The 33, Austin Hatch, a senior for Manheim Central, gets to enter. Obviously a crowd favorite.
Well, and for these seniors, it's the last time that they're going to play on this floor.
Yeah, and I just like when you see kids that are seniors that don't get to play much. They stick it out, and they play, and they be a part of the team.
Thornton's 3, too hard, Burns. Cascione's 3 won't go. Ball tipped around, and Crope is going to be fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line with 16 seconds remaining.
There, you look at Coach Sherwood, and you know, if you're handing out game balls to players or whatever you do, he might not be a bad candidate. I mean, this was a really, really solid game plan. The players executed it. But I think he deserves a lot of credit. They came with the exact approach that they needed to, and they made really nice mid-game and halftime adjustments.
And they did. Tremendous job of shutting down Joe Cascione.
Well, they're going to have fun. I mean, they got their work cut out going to Susquehanna Township next Tuesday. But I think they're going to enjoy the opportunity. No pressure.
That's right.
Go out and see what you can do.
And it will be Manheim Central moving on to the round of 16 as they defeat Wyomissing by a score of 60-48. We'll take a timeout and be back to wrap things up for Manheim right after this.
Fresh homemade salads, soups, and desserts right from the kitchen. And that's just the start at Weaver Markets. Everywhere you look, there's something homemade, made locally, or just plain delicious. There's always something on sale, and you don't even need a club card to take advantage of all the great specials. For 50 years, we've called this community home, and that's just how we want you to think of us, as home. At Weaver Markets, you're always welcome as part of the family. Visit us in Adamstown and Reinholds, Monday through Saturday, or anytime online at weavermarkets.com.
At Harry's Furniture Center, we strive to make quality family time easier. Whether it's a family meal around a dinner table or enjoying sports night on a comfortable reclining sofa. After 60 years in business, we understand you wanting choices. So visit our large showroom of living rooms, bedrooms, recliners, dinettes, tables, and more. The list is out. Our quality furniture manufacturers, Best Home Furnishings, England, Craftmaster, and Von Bassett have given us a list of discontinued items. Save now. We invite you to see for yourself. Harry's Furniture Center, Route 23 in Leola.
Our family came to Lancaster County over 160 years ago. We consider Good Funeral Home to be part of the community. Growing up, I learned from my grandmother about providing quality service, offering caring support, and having a deep love for people. I'm proud to be the 6th generation to carry on this family tradition. When planning a funeral for your loved one or pre-planning for yourself, we're here for you. Call us or visit our website, Good Funeral Home. It's how you say goodbye.
Do business owners feel the ENB difference?
I feel it as soon as I walk through the door. It's just friendlier.
They know my name, and I know theirs. I'm not just an account, I'm a person.
I feel like my bank is my business partner. They understand where I'm headed.
I feel like they care about my community because it's their community too.
I feel like they share my values.
I feel I can trust them, not like those giant banks.
ENB is part of where I live.
ENB, you'll feel the difference.
Well, the Manheim Central Barons have earned a trip into the field of 16, and what lies ahead is a showdown with the top seeded team in AAA, the Susquehanna Township Indians. That'll be next week, but for right now, what a really nice win for the Barons here tonight.
Just reminds you how good Section 3 has been this year with Donegal and LS and Northern Lebanon. And because Manheim Central, they belong. They belong in that field of 16. They proved it tonight. And I'm not going to make any wild predictions here for that game, but they're going to go at them and give them the best shot they have.
For Wyomissing, I'll tell you what, a frustrating night for Joe Cascione, their leading scorer. The Barons defensively, they threw everything at him, and it worked. Held them to a season low, 6 points, 2 3-point buckets. For Wyomissing, they were led by Gerald Burns with 15. Chase Hartman with a solid ball game. He had 13. The key, though, was down the stretch. 3 out of 7 at the line in the game for Wyomissing. For Manheim Central, Matt Walsh with just a dominating performance. 25 points, 4 for 4 from the foul line, 3 3-point buckets, a pair of block shots, and a number of rebounds. Evan Stauffer, 18 points as well. And for Manheim Central, 11 of 17 at the foul line. So they move on to continue on in the district playoffs to take on Susquehanna Township next week. It's been a fun ride this season. Thanks for tuning in. For Ryan Landis, I'm Eric May. 60-48, Manheim Central wins it. Good night, everybody.
Good evening, I'm Chad Landers. Here's what's coming up tonight at 10. After an 8-month investigation, police have charged a Lidditz man with stealing from his elderly sister, once again using the power of attorney. Plus, it's a rare disease and not many people even know it exists, but an effort to increase awareness by one local woman is getting international support on this day. All that's coming up, plus Carl Kern with weather and Brian Cass with sports. Join us tonight at 10. Here's what's coming up later today on Blue Ridge Cable 11.
Coverage of Cable 11 Sports is available for purchase on DVD. Order your memorable high school sports games on Cable11.com. So bring it home with Cable 11. Request your copy today.
The journey to greatness spins out of control. On the road to WrestleMania, these men must survive. WWE Elimination Chamber, live Sunday, February 17th on pay-per-view.
ESPN, the home court of Big Monday. The home court of Super Tuesday. The home court of Wednesday Night Hoops. The home court of Thursday Night Showcase. Are you serious? The home court of Saturday Primetime. ESPN, the home court of college hoops. Be there all season long on ESPN and ESPN2.
Add HD Basic to Blue Ridge Digital Cable to get ESPN HD and ESPN2 HD.
007 reporting for duty. Some men are coming to kill us. We're going to kill them first.
Order today with Blue Ridge On Demand.
Hockey is back. And NHL Center Ice wants to welcome you back to the game. Now, for the lowest price ever, you can follow your favorite team and players all season long, no matter where you live.
Spectacular!
You'll get up to 40 out-of-market games a week, making it easy to jump right back into the action at a special low price. NHL Center Ice. The game lives where you do.
Call now to order NHL Center Ice for the lowest price ever.
You're watching Blue Ridge Communications, Cable 11.